Hi everyone, I'm Kat the Farmer and I'm here in the middle of February making a new tool for my farm that's about to happen this spring. So I found some pieces to put together to make a bed layout tool, and I'm going to show you what I've got so far. So this is an old plastic barrel that we had sitting in the woods since we moved onto the land. Never know when those will come in handy. And I just drilled through it, and I found at my friend's farm, Delaney, she owns Halfley Hollow Farm in Copper Hill. She has an amazing metal scrap pile. So I actually found these few pieces of conduit that had 90-degree elbows in it already, and I just screwed those together and made a little axle for this bed layout tool. I need a good name for it. So what I need to do next is to attach something to the outside of this cylinder that's going to actually leave impressions in the soil. So my most common row spacings are going to be 2 rows per bed, 5 rows per bed, or 10 rows per bed. And my in-row spacing is going to be 6, 12, or 18-inch spacing. So I'm going to need to find a common denominator for that spacing, and I think I have that figured out. But I'll show you the next steps from here, and then we'll have another tool that gets us all the more ready for springtime. So this is an old piece of pex-al-pex. It's a PEX product that has a layer of aluminum inside. This is what we use for our radiant floors in our concrete slab in our house. But we have a lot left over because it was really cheap to just buy a bunch of it and put it down. So I think this, if I can get some fasteners that'll screw through this into the plastic, this might be a nice marker. Let's see how that goes. So what I'm going to do next is mark out my spacing this way. So I figured out this barrel is actually 38 inches tall. So the very outside edge is going to be 1 row marker. And then 19 is the center. And then I'm marking out 1, 2, 3, 4 even spaces. So every 9.5 inches is going to be where there is one of these tubes attached. And I'm just going to mark it periodically around this thing so that they're straight. That's the whole point of this tool, right? So that everything stays straight. Mark again at 19. And I'll go all the way around. So the next step is going to be putting the cross pieces on to make a grid at a regular interval. Instead of winging it, I measured around and it's 6 foot 1 inches, so that's 73 inches circumference, and then I wanted it to be at about 6-inch intervals. So that's going to make 12 equal parts. So it's actually going to be like 6 inches and 1/12. So I think I'll go 6 inches and 1/16 on the measuring tape, make marks all the way around, and then start screwing those cross pieces in and go from there. Cut a bunch of little pieces just roughly to the size, and I made little marks all the way around the barrel, and I started putting these little pieces in. So I'm just cutting them to size. I'm going to straighten them out a little bit. Putting 2 screws in right over my marks. So all of the PEX pipe has been installed and screwed on. I think if we're lucky we can go test it out in the field if it's soft enough and not too frozen, and see if it makes enough of an impression to see and plant things accordingly. So I'll have to give you another demonstration of this when spring comes along. What I think this will be really useful for is sticking to a system and making sure your plants are always evenly spaced. That'll be really beneficial for plant health, because if I plant at each of the intersections of these markings that'll be in the soil, they'll have plenty of room. But also, if I have a certain set of weeding tools, I'll know that they'll always fit in between these rows that are evenly spaced. Because if your rows start going wibbly wobbly, at some point your hoe might accidentally clip some of those plants. So staying perfectly parallel and evenly spaced is part of a system of good weed control. But also just thinking about working alone on the farm and having a good workflow, I can roll this down the bed, have all my markings made, then I can come back and just plop down all the plants, and then come back through and set each one and bury them in place. So I think that'll add to the efficiency of working alone, but also of working with a team. You guys can carry on a conversation while you're planting because you're not measuring or counting or trying to do too many things with your brain. You can just do the repetitive task of planting and get that done without having to do too much figuring at the same time. But thanks for watching this little winter project, and stay tuned for more updates in the springtime when things get growing. Can't wait!